Let's get back to another round of Brewsday Tuesday with DreZ and Big Nate.
Cue the explosion on Big Nate. Right, 3, 2, 1.
Given the beer I'm holding,
How is that not? How did it not get all
I
over you?
expected it to just spew everywhere.
It is Brewsday Tuesday, brought to you by the Cellar Restaurant and Six Pack Store in downtown Blacksburg, of which both of these beers came from. The one that Big Nate is pouring, again, I probably haven't been sitting on it as long as the Hellcat, but I've been wanting and waiting to try that beer for so damn long. Looking at my fridge, that label is very enticing, and of course, it's a band that both of us love. GWAR's, what is it? It's Devil's Backbone, like a
The
blood
Blood Geyser.
Blood Geyser. Is that a blood orange something, right?
It says it's brewed to the specific gravity of blood. It's an India Pale Ale with natural flavors and artificial color.
See, knowing GWAR, I'm sure I would hope that they came up with like the descriptions and all that stuff.
Well, no, there's no description. You just got this awesome drawing that if you're watching the video, you can see. But ABV 5.5%, so it's really low end for an India Pale Ale. But my favorite portion of this is the color is blood red. And I was like, okay, they've got to be joking. But
oh wow. Yeah.
they're not joking. This is a blood red beer.
Wow.
So
they must, is that just coloring that they just they added it to make it bloody red? Or I'm interested to see how that tastes. I've been
it
wanting
smells like
mandarins.
what's that? Blood orange.
Yeah,
like you said.
that's what I was thinking.
It smells like blood orange.
Doesn't it say it's a blood orange whatever? Isn't that
No, it just says it's brewed to the specific gravity of blood.
Oh, okay. I could have sworn it was like
no mention of blood orange. Obviously, that's probably what they used. But that is just, and I'm kind of disappointed it didn't spew everywhere.
Yeah, knowing if you've ever been to a GWAR show, you know what we're referencing. That should have been the case. I just popped from Collective Arts, which is a phenomenal brewery. They always have cool art on their cans, and this one it makes sense because it is a phenomenal rendition of the Run the Jewels logo. And this one, it's the collaboration Collective Arts and Run the Jewels. Get it, and it is a dry hopped blonde with some Citra, some Enigma in there. Coming in at only 5%, and I'll be honest, given what I know about my taste in beer, I'm really was less looking forward to the beer and just excited to see the can and the collaboration and whatnot. So
wildly cool can too. It feels like if you remember those old choose your own adventure books from the 80s, it very much so has that same feel with the kind of the faded matte look, and then the Run the Jewels logo being all mystified.
Nah, it's pretty sweet. And so for those that don't know, Run the Jewels is a rap duo. They opened up for Rage Against the Machine on the public service announcement tour that they were just recently on, that I got to finally see them live in Raleigh, North Carolina. Unfortunately, I didn't see much Run the Jewels. I think I spent most of their set time waiting in line to buy a Rage Against the Machine t-shirt. And usually that's I don't do that. I always wait till after the band performs to see if they're worthy of buying the shirt, but I already knew that I've been waiting and wanting, and yes, and it's Rage. So I knew that they were going to live up to it, and I'd want a shirt, and I'm glad I did, because I met up with a buddy in Raleigh and went to the show. And it turns out that one of his friends was actually working one of the merch booths, and she said that everything was sold out by the end of the show. So if we hadn't done that, we probably wouldn't have gotten shirts. Unfortunately, the Run the Jewels shirts, they looked really sweet. I wanted to get one, but I didn't really get to see them enough to justify it. And really, I probably could have, but I mean, like any tour t-shirt, it's $40, and I don't know if it's worth.
That's an investment.
$40 on the shirt. I probably should have, but either way, it was a phenomenal show. But when it comes to live shows, now, obviously, we've been waiting so long to see Rage and whatnot. I've actually seen Run the Jewels a couple times. Rage, or GWAR, excuse me, I have seen, Unfortunately, I can only count on one hand. I think it's probably been 3 or 4 times I've seen GWAR, mostly at the GWAR-barbecue. Did you ever make it to a GWAR-barbecue?
I've never seen GWAR live.
You've never seen GWAR
I've
live?
seen ROG, which is, of course,
Okay.
GWAR without the masks and the theatrics. And I got to be honest with you.
What's the point of that?
Still cool, but yeah, no.
No.
You want to go to the GWAR show. I've just never had the chance to make it out and see them in person. But weirdly enough, when I first came to Radford, I discovered that the library rents out DVDs.
Yeah.
And they happen to have an extensive live concert collection.
Nice.
And one of which was GWAR live from Antarctica. I think it was like 91 or 92. So Dave Brockie, of course, still alive. And I remember watching this. I was like, first of all, this is bootleg as hell. But that was like back when they were like really like, all right, let's establish this as the art house we want it to be. And they just went like balls to the wall, like bringing everything out. And like it was a full on produced, almost like a public access TV show.
Yeah.
And it was just peak GWAR and everything they've done since. And then, of course, with Dave Brockie's passing, to see that it still kind of carries on and they keep that tradition alive just blows my mind.
Yeah. So for those that aren't familiar with GWAR, they are out of Richmond. And I guess you would say they are a like somewhat theatrical. They have these, costumes and stuff, but I guess the premise is that they're aliens, right? And they're sitting here to destroy humanity or something.
They're not doing so great. They've been here for like 30, 40 years.
Yeah, they dog on them and stuff. And it's satirical. It's a satirical metal. Just phenomenal.
It's the next logical evolution of Alice Cooper's live show.
Yes, there you go. There's, if you're familiar, I think that's
there's a
great
splash zone.
Mm-hmm.
You need ponchos if you're in the pit. It's just mind blowing.
So yeah, I've seen GWAR a few times, and the times that I've seen them, it depended on who was president at the time. I've seen them, cut off Obama's head, and you get Obama blood spouted on you. I've seen them cut off, President Trump's different limbs, Hillary Clinton. They get a little political with it, but yeah, they cut stuff off, and then then you're getting blasted with blood, or they have other bodily fluids coming out of other bodily parts, and you're getting blasted with that. You're getting blasted with green alien goo and stuff. So basically, if you ever go to a GWAR show, and I've thought of this, and I haven't seen them live since I've came up with this idea.
White t-shirt.
Yes, that's your souvenir. You bring a white t-shirt, you write just the GWAR logo as best you can in black Sharpie, the date, and then just wear the white t-shirt, and it will get stained properly. And then there you go. There's your souvenir t-shirt. Buy a proper one too, to give the band some money, but that's going to be your real prize right there.
The thing about it is that continuously blows my mind to this day. First of all, like, things were so well set in place that they've got the GWAR bar, they've got the GWAR barbecue, they've got like everything. Their front man, the founding member, the only founding member, is dead. And they've been able to keep this going and kind of keep this alive.
I think Ballsack's the longest standing member at this point.
Yeah, and it just blows my mind.
Which, by the way, if you didn't pick that up, yeah, the guy's name's Ballsack, so that's how you know. And this is a great band. But yeah, and do yourself a favor and look up some, because like he's been saying, Dave Brockie was the real heart and soul and brains, I would almost say. Google just Odorous Arundus. That was his, his moniker or character in the band. Just Google some Odorous Arundus interviews, man. He was just so hilarious. They were on Jerry Springer.
Flawless.
Pull that up. Do yourself a favor and look that one up, man. And any sort of interviews,
so quick with like
quick and witty and just smart. So like anybody that would try and crap on him, he would just find just a hilarious way to spin it around. Oh my gosh, dude. Him in character was just so phenomenal. And I do. It was a shame of his passing.
I still think what they did with his passing was just phenomenal. I don't know if you knew this. They gave him like a funeral pyre Like they did a barbecue, and then
I was there.
You were there. Okay,
Mhm.
so you saw the
I was there for the
flaming
send-off.
odorous Orungus
Yes.
costume.
Yeah, they basically did it like typical, I guess, Viking style. And so, if you never made it to the barbecue, I don't think they do it anymore. You're saying, I mean, the GWAR bar is still there to open stuff, but I don't think they've done a barbecue in a long time. I could be wrong, but
They did one 2019.
that might have been. I mean, maybe COVID killed
COVID,
it.
I think,
That's probably what
May
it
have
was.
killed it. Yeah.
But it's on, what is it called? Some pond. It's in Richmond, the Richmond area. But yeah, so there's this pond. So yeah, they sent it out on a ship and did it like with the typical flaming, like arrows, and lit it on fire, man. It was epic. It was fun. It was really cool. And honestly, GWAR obviously why you go for the most part, but I've seen a lot of awesome bands at the barbecue. The Descendants, Clutch. I remember played one year that we went. I mean, it's always a pretty
Another
solid
Virginia
lineup.
band.
If they ever bring it back around, I would highly recommend going. Just so much fun. And where you're there is the pond, and they're doing like BMX stuff and everything too. But there's also just a regular like pool, and so it's usually the thick of summer. But you can cool down if you want to get wet and cool off after being in the pit or whatever. Just so much fun, man.
Wash all
barbecues.
the things you've gotten on you off.
Yeah, and look, I actually got some of my barbecue passes, media passes. I stuck them to the back of the bear door there. Yeah, those were good times. What year was that? Let's say 2015. I think there's another one up there somewhere, but yeah, GWAR's awesome. I'm not gonna lie, I don't own one GWAR album. I've only just gotten into them via the live show. I feel like that's really the way to experience GWAR.
I've got Scumdogs of the Universe, and that's it. And that was like,
That's the staple.
yeah.
I
I feel like that's one. If you're gonna call yourself a GWAR fan, you gotta have that one.
Yeah, I guess I'm just a GWAR live fan because I don't have that one.
Well, you've got a leg up on me.
I got a lot of the T-shirts. I can tell you that much. I got a number of GWAR T-shirts.
I mean,
in
but
my
who's really?
work tour.
And it's about the live show with GWAR.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, the records are great. The songs are hilarious and awesome too. But really, seeing them live is how you become a GWAR fan. There's no question about it. Same with Run the Jewels. The first time I saw Run the Jewels was at a Bonnaroo with my cousin. I had never heard of him, but he's more in, I guess, the rapping and stuff. And that was one of the people he was most excited to see. So go, and yeah, they just kill it. So, and it makes sense why they were chosen to open up for Rage, because they're that damn good. So if you're not familiar with Run the Jewels, you might want to look into them too if you're into the more rap kind of things. It's not exactly rock per se, but definitely worth checking out. Now, the question is, which beer is better? And I feel like I already know the answer, and I guess we'll be able to tell on the Untapped scale with me and Big Nate untapping these beers. How is the Blood? I thought it was Blood Orange. So it's called Blood
Geyser.
Blood Geyser.
Brewed
Devil's Backbone.
to the specific gravity of blood. And I'm gonna be honest with you, from a drinking standpoint, this is more like a seltzer than it is a beer.
Really?
Yeah, which is gonna knock it back a point. But this awesome can will get it 3 points.
I'm not gonna lie. I was a little all right. So GWAR's out of Richmond,
Mm-hmm.
and they pair with Devil's Backbone for this. Geographically, it doesn't make sense.
That's true.
The breweries in Richmond, there are, I bet I could name off the
Yeah,
top of my head 10 breweries that are better than Devil's Backbone in Richmond. I don't know why they went with Devil's Backbone for I guess maybe distribution.
The devil.
Maybe the Devil tie-in. It's a bit of a stretch, but yeah, I was a little worried about it because frankly, no offense, Devil's Backbone, but you know.
Don't get me wrong. It's absolutely delicious, but to call it an India Pale Ale is a disservice to the beverage. First of all, you got your 5.5% ABV. That's super low for an India Pale Ale. It's much more like there's so much effervescence that you don't really get a lot of the flavors. All I taste is fruit in this.
So no, that's not. I mean, it could be good. So is it good?
Oh,
though?
it's delicious. It's not what
The
they're
problem
calling
is
it,
it's
though.
mislabeled though.
Yeah.
You think it's not an IPA.
I don't think it is. Like I get no hops.
See, now, and if that's the case, Huck would tell you that's one of the big dingies. It might still taste great, but he's going to hurt you on the score if it's not as labeled.
Well, I'm gonna overlook it because this is delicious. Just maybe reconsider your labeling next time. You screen print it right on the can and put a lot of thought into this label. I'm gonna go ahead and knowing that I wouldn't call this a traditional India Pale Ale by any stretch of the imagination. I'll give it a 4.5.
Oh, so all right, so still good.
It's taken a half a point off because
It would have been a 5 if it was
if I
labeled
could just
as a.
taste some hops.
Yeah. Huh. Okay. Well, that's still pretty damn good. I mean, all right. I'm looking forward to trying that back again. At first I was a little worried. That being said, Collective Arts, coming in with a dry hop blonde, to get it with the collaboration with Run the Jewels. I love everything about Collective Arts, and I also love Run the Jewels and their artwork that comes with this. Frankly, the beer is better than I thought it was going to be, which I shouldn't be surprised because Collective Arts is great that way. But it was nice, light, easy drinking. Blondes. What can I say? I'm not a blonde guy. I married a redhead. I'm not really into blondes, but I tell you what, it tastes good. It's a great collaboration. I think I'm right there with you. Probably about a 4.5. Awesome stuff here on Brewsday Tuesday. Next
Solid
week,
round.
I think is maybe going to get even more awesome, if you can believe it. Another show that I was able to put together that I am extremely excited for. I know you are too.
Very much so. I'm thrilled with the things that you're putting together. I feel like I want you to do all my Christmas shopping.
Well,
I'll pay.
Okay. Well, there you go. There's your teaser for next week. You're definitely going to give it a listen. Appreciate you, everybody. Listen in. And of course, we will take a quick break and you can be listening to more rock coming up right here on 105.3 The Bear. Stick around.